Hello.
Oh, we're on?
Yeah, we're on. Oh, I should have asked first. You good? You good?
Oh, yeah, we're fine. We're
good.
too tired, boys.
Oh, Jesus.
Too
Can you all
tired.
hear us and see us?
Somebody please type that you
So
can.
let us know that we're seeable and hearable. I can make changes if needed. Hello, yes! Oh, yay! Yay!
The bags under our eyes are
Oh my
quite
god.
definitive.
Well, so the last time you saw us all, life wasn't crazy. And then between then and now, life got crazy for the two of us.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's the thing.
Yeah, we just both, in our own respective fields, got extremely busy.
Yeah. Hey, I'm supposed to be doing vlogs soon.
Woot.
I have to learn how to get good at vlogging.
Yeah!
God help us.
Everyone give their support to Zach in his learning how to vlog.
I know how. I just have to know how to talk about things. Randomly generate content,
It's
right?
gonna be an
Let's
interesting
talk
one.
about me for 5 minutes. It's fine.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be
be good.
interesting. Oh, yay!
We just finished moving.
Nice.
I kind of want to ask like where you're going, where you moved to or from, but anyway, because that just seems TMI. I don't know. Don't tell the whole world where you're moving to, then you get stalkers. Anyway, so before we get started today, actually, sort of as we're starting, but not so much before we get started. But I should have grabbed water. Anyway, instant regrets. I'll grab water in a sec. So I know, and it's funny because Derek and I even said this like literally earlier today. Just down the street from the original place. Nice. I've done that before. Am I supposed to do this?
New digs.
Yep. Okay. Since we're not playing sounds with the computer anyway. So speaking of which, let's just get this figured out right away. Two things about the commentaries we've been doing so far. We've been kind of assigning them to certain episodes. We noticed that there's a couple of things. One, from a technical side of things, which is funny because I think I just fixed it. But anyway, we'll get to that. It hasn't been coming out right. The first episode we kind of got the double audio because we don't have a big setup here to like play sounds in like headphones and also have microphones, and we can come up with a unique setup, but we just don't have the time or resources to do that. And the last one, all you guys heard was deep, warpy, thundery sounds. At least that's what my recording got. So you didn't hear the episode at all. And none of our, very few of the questions actually specifically had to do with the episodes. So, question time, thoughts and opinions for you all. How do you feel about just once a month we just chat about stuff and you just ask us whatever questions you want that does not have to be associated to an episode? So I also feel like some of the questions were just like, well, let's answer that question when we get to that episode. We just kind of take whatever questions.
Yeah, take whatever questions, whatever show, the call, spacers, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Not where we live though, not our address.
We've more, but told everyone, but barely that.
They can find us pretty easy.
Yeah.
Sketchy.
The internet's a thing.
Sketchy.
So yeah, thoughts. Give us your thoughts. What do you think? Just general Q&A, specific episode Q&As. We haven't really gotten specific episode questions before.
Yeah, and you're right though. One of the big things is like people have questions that they really want to ask, and it might be relevant.
Who are we to tell them what they can't ask?
And it's like, oh, when I get to that episode or when I get to this episode, and it's easier just to whatever questions you have, and we'll just answer them and have a conversation. Plus, it can be quite loud where I work and where we have to have the volume at a certain point. So to try to fix the warble, I can't hear the episode.
Yeah,
that's not a tech problem. That's a me problem.
You're old. What?
It's a loud workplace. Hence why I'm screaming. And I am old man Snow.
Well, while I get all the feedback coming in from that idea, I've got a couple of affirmatives in that idea. I'm just gonna grab a water, so I'll be right back.
Can you top mine up as well?
Don't burn the place down while I'm gone.
Flames! Yeah. Now that it's just me and you. Oh my. I'm not doing too bad. Just feeling a bit tired. A little bit dragged out. Yeah. But time to spill the tea on Zach. He's pretty awesome. Okay. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I don't really have much tea regards to that. Oh, we wouldn't have been doing this for so long. Well, how have we been doing this for like 5 years, maybe 6 years? We've always gotten along. Never really any heated moments. We're both pretty level-headed. We complement each other very well, I find. Yeah. I wish I could give you more. I wish I'd be like, oh no, here he comes. Shh.
You know I record all these, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
That's
hear
fine.
all of everything. Ooh, cool.
Yeah, they asked about
Let's see.
tea on you, so I just told them, everything's golden.
The tea on me.
Stay gold.
It's not a
Pony
lot of
boy.
It's not a lot of tea on me. I'm just fucking saying yes to it's
Is it recording?
yeah, it's recording.
Okay. Fuck. Yeah, so this might be Pew.
Yeah, it's recording. That's good.
No. Yeah, it's all good to me.
It's recording.
Yeah, it's all perfect. It's all perfect. So feel free. Any questions? Any episodes?
Ask us whatever you
Anything you really want.
We'll just do this every month and just have an open chit chat about things. What we might end up making this is just us talking about random stuff, because us talking about things can be kind of funny. Question for you: have you seen the Alien Romulus trailer?
No, but I've heard of it. But I love. We share our love for these type of things. So I always watch them. I always watch the Alien movies or the sub movies or whatever way you want to put it. I love them. Some of them are definitely better than others.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, because the name Romulus. Next one will be, Aliens Remus.
No, apparently Romulus and Remus are both in this one.
Well, yeah, okay. Aliens are square.
Anyway, it's a fun fact. There's a new trailer for the new Alien movie, and I am hella excited. But I got questions now. So Autumn's got a question for you. Is the skeet that they meet at the beginning the same as the one that makes it to the end of the arc? Are you allowed to answer that question, knowing that your players can hear all these answers?
So the skeet they met at the beginning of the arc, or Swill's gullet?
Wait, what?
No, I just like being difficult. There has been a few situations where people also already know this about the swapping of the skeets, the switching. Like, I know specifically who each skeet is, like who each dead skeet is. I know in the cab of the vehicle, Heinrich's, that skeet.
Yeah.
I know who that skeet
Who is it?
is. That'll come up. But, like, for example, remember, here's something though. Remember, when you went to the, oh my God, Heinrich's mansion, and you were going to collect the artifacts.
Yeah.
And that was a fake skeet, right? And
The one that burnt himself.
Yeah, you burnt himself,
Yeah.
right? So, but remember, the only information you sort of had from Skeet when you went back was that he was hanging out with his cousin, Ulrich Fannin. That had came up?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Skeet who burned himself was Ulrich Fannin. Like, each Skeet is their own Skeet.
Ah, that's actually okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Remember, because there was the pin and stuff like that. I'd have to go back. Yeah. Because that was Ulrich Fannin.
Bruh.
That's who that Skeet was.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know
So
that.
each Skeet. So when
I
you
didn't
think
know
of
that.
names like Carl Sanford and other such people, yeah, they
Wait,
are
hang on a
Skeets.
second. So was every single when I had that little the Streamboard like notepad that I had of all the things.
Yeah.
And I was like, this person's the same person. They're all the same person. Were they actually all individual people that just all ended up being like terraformed into Skeet?
Potentially.
Oh fuck! Okay.
Potentially, but
God
it all
damn it.
depends situation, because there's a lot on the go. Hopefully I didn't give too. I'm really tired. So
You and me both, man. It's a bit of time. Skeetiformed, that's fair.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
fucking know.
Skeetiformed. Oh, blizzard warning. Oh.
Did you bring those dice over?
Oh, I forgot.
You
When
rat bastard!
But when you drop me off, and then we can I can just
Could
bring
have
them back
showed
to you.
off the dice.
I know, now I feel really bad.
I have Spacers dice now. I'm wildly excited.
Thanks, Blizzard Warning.
Thank you very much.
I feel so bad because she's my best friend. And I'm like, it was like, what was it, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago before everything got super busy?
Stop looking.
I gotta
I'm the
keep
moderator
saying Blizzard
here, fuck
Warning
off.
because I'm not saying her real name. I guess I don't know. But, Blizzard Warning.
If she types her own name in here, I'll say it aloud.
Texted me and said, did you receive those dice yet? And I was like, oh no. And explained, of course, it's coming to my address because most things, that we do through the business comes to my address. And I felt really bad because, of course, I hadn't checked the mail in like a week and a half. And,
Son of a bitch.
adulting is hard.
Son of a bitch.
So I went out and got it, and I was like, okay, cool. Oh, these are awesome. I got to get these to Zach. And then everything went to hell. And, yeah. I've worked pretty much straight since then.
Okay. I have your question, Weege. I will get to it, but I'm going to follow this train of current conversation first. Yes. So TJ is just like, Spacers dice. Yeah, so you know how we've got the dice set that we're doing for called 1973, where the DM uses it for the entire arc, and then it just gets raffled off at the end of the arc? We're going to be trying to do that as frequently as possible. We have like a couple friends that are dice makers, which kind of makes sense, and all that good stuff. So we'll be doing the same for Spacers when Spacers is back up and going. I will be using this set of dice to mess with the Spacers that are playing. Apparently, Blizzard Warning is also working on a Cliptic set of dice right now.
Yes.
That's dope. So that'll be fun. I'm excited. They look really nice. They're like all like purple and bluey and like spires, like space.
That's why I didn't bring them. I want to keep them for myself.
Fuck. Anyway. We just an actual question for you beyond the dice conversation. We'll be seeing all those, and when Spacers is up and going, you'll see more of the close-ups of those dice.
Dark Matter dice and Divine Soul dice.
Yeah, Divine Soul dice made the dice set that's in 1973, and then Dark Matter dice is making the dice that are going to be in Spacers. So I don't know if this is how we're going to be sticking to it. It was like basically Dark Matter dice kind of on Spacers and Divine Soul dice kind of on the call. Is that still the plan?
I think that's still the
whatever.
plan. I think we'll just go with whatever. They're both fantastic dice makers, so people will be
half
happy.
my dice are from Divine Soul dice. I plan on buying several more dice from Dark Matter.
Dark Matter dice made me a specific 1-of-1 Skeet Wilson bottom dice set in its own
Those are
box.
cool.
They're little black, almost like the black liquid in them.
With orange slices?
With orange slices. Fantastic.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a little quiet in here. I'll take the question in a second. It's a little quiet. I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to go put some music on because since we're now just going to chit-chat instead, we're just going to put some fucking vibes on in the background.
There's a voice.
The question...
Sorry.
Kersmack. This person actually does have a question specifically about episode 3, since we were talking about the whole ski thing. Was he taken because he was Walter Corbett? When he was taken and he was put on one of the pikes, but he was just, they hadn't quite gotten to him yet.
When he was taken. So,
the lake.
One of them, looking back, because that's like 5 years ago. Although I still recall. Yeah, I think it is, right? Actually, more than that, isn't it? 20?
Fuck, it's 6. God damn it.
6, yeah. But I do recall the Pincushion Man, who was the... I think this might have been brought up before, and it might have been brought up in the episode, that the Pincushion Man was, or at least that's what I refer to him as, was the boy who had the look of the war about him, the one who went up with Dr. Barnabas Jones and Heinrich. And yes, part of the reason that Skeet was taken was because of him being Walter Corbett.
Interesting.
Good
question, Weege.
That was definitely part of it. There's also that's a particular reason, which wasn't really. It may come up in a later arc as well, but it has to do with he also wasn't crucified at the lake. He didn't have one of those talons put in him.
We always thought we just got there before they got to him.
Yeah, but there was a reason that he was brought there that way. And it also has to do with the situation where the area is sort of... Because I'll just ramble. But there's a reason that the area was predominantly Glacky. with the lake and everything, which really doesn't have a connection. Well, it sort of has a connection, but it really doesn't. It created problems for what they were trying to do there in the ritual and everything else. Yeah. Hopefully I answered that. I'm really tired, so hopefully I didn't ramble too far. But yeah, the part of the reason was
Hopefully that's not too loud.
that it was makes me want to fucking crack the glow sticks.
I just typed in synthwave. It was either that or lo-fi. I don't know.
Junctions, baby.
Anything that's not, you get slapped for having, real music. So you gotta have royalty-free BS.
Yes.
To follow up, Ouija had another question there.
Sure.
Can we finally ask about sin eaters? Just in general, like, are we allowed to ask about the rules behind sin eaters?
You can ask, but when it comes to things that are going to come up in the next arc, because the next arc will be covering more of a deep dive about certain things to do sin eaters, specifically because of Amos' situation. That's how I call it. His situation. Right?
That's a word for it.
But I'm also fairly tired, so throw your question out, and if I
ask whatever you want about sin eaters, and he won't answer whatever he doesn't want to answer.
Yeah. Not trying to be difficult, but I'm difficult.
The bird head that was thrown in the window while we were upstairs sleeping, was that like just a random bird that was around, or was that there's something specific with that bird head?
Okay, so
oh shit! I was not expecting this.
So remember that that particular raven, I'm pretty sure I described it that way. I'm not sure if it was it, but it was a fairly large specimen.
Yeah, it was a large raven.
Raven. So, okay, Regal is a special type of raven, right? He exists for a specific reason to do with blah 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 blah. That's not the question that was asked, but you know what I mean. He exists for a certain type of reason. That particular raven also was a special raven that was connected to somebody. It just never came out for me to throw out the storyline for it, so it was killed for it had to be killed anyway. Yeah, I know that sounds really confusing, and I feel like I'm being really preposterous here. But yeah, that raven was similar to Regal. Similar to what Regal was.
Okay.
Which I don't want to really, I guess this is the place for spoilers, but being the connection with the Bi-Key and being guardians, protectors.
Okay, just a heads up, if you're here for commentary stuff, people are going to ask questions. Spoilers, we're going to answer.
Hopefully that answers the question. It wasn't the normal raven. There's more ravens I have this affinity for animals. If you can tell from Montgomery and the Raven and the Irish Wolfhound, Regal and the Irish Wolfhound and stuff like that. So I usually, sort of like familiars.
Yeah, I was gonna say animal familiars.
Yeah.
What was the giant snake skin? What was up with the giant snake skin? Episode 3.
The giant snake skin.
That's all I got. Autumn is inquiring, but in episode 3 there was the giant snake skin. I also don't recall this.
Oh.
Then again, we're not listening to it right now. That's the other issue.
Yeah. So I
You do remember now? You good? Maybe? Sort of?
No, it's not specifically about that snake skin that I had there. It was more about years ago. A friend of mine who got me into Call of Cthulhu. Was running a game, and he had snake people, and they're actually, because of Yig, the serpent Yig and stuff like that, there's a pile of mythos surrounding serpent people. And for a while there, I was thinking about doing more with that, specifically to do with the catacombs, because this idea that they're all underground, and I still might, so so I think that was sort of maybe a red herring, that I wasn't sure if it was going to be a red herring or actually a line that I was going to go with, because the first arc of the call like I had a loose outline, but depending on what they wanted to do or how I read the players and the cast as we were running the game, it very well could have ended up that they would have dealt with, or they still might have to deal with followers of Yig.
Followers of Yig?
Yeah, Yig.
Good to know.
Does that, hopefully that makes sense? Yeah. You know what I mean? If anyone got a bingo card for that one.
The bingo card.
Say fuck, Zach.
Fuck!
Yeah, there's the other one.
Sorry, just, I figured, I realized there's something I can actually do here. Fix up some stuff.
Oh, yeah, Jeems? I'm pronouncing that right. Jeems? Jeams. Yeah, the big old raven reminded you of the reveal in Arc 4. Yeah, it was always, it was always planned that way. I also really just like ravens. Plus, I really like the connection to Edgar Allan Poe. You know, I just need to do the Telltale Heart episode and all this other stuff. It'll all work out.
Go ahead and see what
Hopefully that was to everyone's satisfaction.
Okay. Sorry, all over the place. We're focusing back down in a sec here. I keep looking at that one. This one. Study Beats and Eldritch Entities. Yeah, that would be a good title. Oh, interesting observation that Weege made. Agatha and Alfie are the ones who fail the sanity check with the Fang, and they're the two that get tainted by eldritch beings, Glacky and the King in Yellow, respectively.
Yeah, it's a nice coincidence that I could run with, but it's not just the dice roll and what they did. Agatha and Althea's players, or the way they play the characters is they were bound to be tainted by something.
They fucked up, yeah.
Well, but that also makes it entertaining. I know that if I throw something in there that the party really shouldn't look at, either Agatha or Althea is going to look at it. Is going to look at it dead in the face and either shoot it with a Lee Enfield or scream at it angrily in regards to credit rating.
If this is my house and all that good stuff.
But did you know, I think this was brought up before too, like Althea knows how to pilot an airplane, and I'm hoping to bring that into Arc 5. She's always had that, but it's just never really came up. Wasted opportunities.
Sorry, I'm just doing some other... It's I don't usually have people in the studio here with us, so I don't really get to, like, fix things unless I have people here, so I take advantage of the time. So y'all get to one of the things I'm doing with, like, some of the more specific, like, content stuff that we're doing, like the commentaries, and we've even actually also started recording extra shows that will be, like, exclusive stuff to certain subscribers. That sort of stuff, we're going to start using that as, like, our experimental content where we're, like, trying out new things, so you get to hear the weird things that don't work if they don't work. Yeah. So, you know, you get in on this sort of stuff. And then when I post it later, all that happens. The lizard people with the metallic tooth spines. We're assuming they're lizard people. With the spines that are like the pokey stabby things.
Oh yeah, so
are they gonna come back?
And when it comes to the spikes, the spikes weren't the spines of the lizard people. It was sort of like a little red herring, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna run with it. It's the spikes that are out of Glacky. When I described it, and the spikes that were ran through the butt. Yeah, it's Glacky. That's part to do with Glacky. Yeah. Okay. So at the time I was doing that, and I'm also really toying with the idea of, you know, the party having to go back to Swill's Gullet, or another group of investigators having to go back to Swill's Gullet.
I like that hypothetical.
After the military gets screwed over or something, and then it's dealing with a whole other issue, and really get into, because I find Glacky quite interesting.
The lake monster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Maddie here. There's a good amount of red herrings in the beginning. Every episode, they were swayed on who the big bad really could have been. Yeah, it was Amos.
It was a few episodes in before I really had it cemented, because I had my outline, my skeleton of an outline of what I wanted to do. But what I did was basically what I originally had planned. But you never know with players.
True. Well, actually, so there's a guy that frequents our chat. You may see him a few times. We're talking about like delivering information to players and stuff like that. There was a clip I had saw. His name is Fables20 in our chat. But I watched one of his little clips posted on one of his stories, and it blew my mind. And he was talking about how it was like a GM commentary thing as well, where they were giving out advice and things. And somebody asked him about red herrings and his perspective, and I was like, oh, that's such a good idea. Is like your players are your red herrings. The players are going to make up random shit about whatever you give them. So give them all the information and let them fuck it up. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant, because we're terrible. Yeah. So it's a fun perspective. No, we clearly didn't know that at the time.
Yeah. No, it's all good. And also I throw a lot of stuff in the game that I find interesting, even if it's not really going to go anywhere. Because I find it funny. If the players are going to talk about it for a bit, and I can, it
gives you time to think.
Yeah.
Let the players connive, and sometimes the players connive. You're just like, shit, that is a better idea.
That's a pretty good idea. Yeah.
That's why I love collaborative storytelling.
Well, like when I look at the call and there's 4 players and there's me running it, that's 4 brains versus
better than my
brain.
riddle of one.
They're going to surprise you, and they're going to come up with things, and you need to find a way to run with it and make it interesting, make it fun. Yeah.
Yep.
Find a nice balance.
Question is not really game related. Someone here is asking ongoing joke about supporters asking to screw over players, but can you actually request penalty dice to someone specifically? For a while there, we played with the idea where we were like, send us a message with your donation on Ko-fi as to where you want a specific penalty die to go. We did that for a bit. The issue was, there was 2 issues with it. One, it was a technical issue, where I guess people weren't able to comment more than just the first time that they would submit something, which we've kind of rectified with Discord. But the other one is just how long it takes for us to record things. So, for instance, we have yet to record new episodes of Arc 5 of The Call. So if you were to, for example, have given us something for like a penalty dice specifically to Amos, let's say, just because I'm here to defend myself, and it's like you were to have made that request anytime between September and, let's say, August of this year, so within the past year, you wouldn't have seen it implemented into the game, because all the episodes that were recorded there were before you submitted, and all the episodes we're going to record now, you won't see until way later. So, like, you can, but we don't advertise it because one of the things that we're trying to run into with all of this, as well as just being open and transparent, is, not disrespecting people giving us money. Yeah. Right? You guys people were asking, hey, how can we support? And it's great because it covers all the costs. There are expenses to run this sort of thing, so it's fantastic that everyone's helping out. But we don't want to be like, hey, cool, give us money and we'll give you this. And then you don't see the fruits of that, what we've offered you in return of that, for like 2 to 3 years. So if you would like to, you can probably send us a message, be like, hey, cool, I would love to see this person get fucked over, and maybe we'll make a note and put off the side that, hey, I should probably focus on fucking this person over, and I'll actually blame it on this person when I give them that penalty die or whatever, right? Derek kind of cracks those jokes in the episodes. They're just jokes, but if you do want to send requests, but we can't publicly say that we will offer it because we can't guarantee you'll ever see it.
Yeah, it's just because of the way our recording goes, especially how hectic our day-to-day jobs are. That, like you said, we usually record way in advance. And then I believe it really became to our attention that we sort of had to change things at TJ's in the chat, where TJ had made a request.
Yeah,
but we had already recorded, and it felt I didn't want anyone else, because I know it could be a bit frustrating. I didn't want anyone else to feel like we were, ignoring them, or we weren't doing it. But it was like it was all recorded previously. So until we could catch up, I'm glad I eventually got around to it. I believe it was Amos's stealth check.
Yeah.
Right. I'm glad we did catch up to it, but I didn't want to. It's when I started realizing that there, it could be a
it's
problem.
Just not working. We don't record anywhere close to in real time for those sorts of like immediate things to work. So
what do we have in the Ko-fi now in regards to it?
So how it kind of works now? There's a video that recaps it. Basically, how it works now is it's just when people are donating, and either it impacts the players as the player pool or the GM pool.
Okay.
And then we just take those resources and we spend
Makes
it.
sense.
It's more complicated than that. Like there's the video that explains it. Don't want
Yeah.
to take up time to go through all that now, and you can
Sure.
watch that. But yeah, it's a little less specific. But if you wanted to just DM us, like I said, you absolutely can. We can't formally say it'll happen as a return on your investment because we can't guarantee that we can provide that. On to the questions. If you have more questions about that sort of stuff, feel free to keep asking as well. It's totally fine.
It's all open here.
Do you have a favorite episode / arc?
So the thing is that I feel that the urban arc, which is a good 80, 90 episodes, I consider that in my mind as one arc because it's the urban arc. It just didn't expect for it to go that way, but then we had to stop playing for so long because of COVID and other things. So I thought, this seems like a good break. I did expect, I should have expected because of how my mind works and how much stuff I'll throw in and just keep pushing and go deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
I like all the arcs sort of for different reasons. I know that's sort of like an easy way to put it. I really like the Swill's Gullet arc. Very self-contained, that isolation. When you were in the catacombs, having to swim underwater in the dark and then having to crawl through that tight space.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
So for my answer to that question is the creepy hand coming through the in Swill's Gullet trying to grab me in the thing. I was like, that's dope. That's so good.
Yeah.
I was creeped out. It was fantastic. I made the mistake of telling Derek one of the only things that if somebody wants to scare me, it's like, oh god, that's pretty good, and he used it very effectively. It was very good.
My favorite, it's not a specific episode, but it's like a 3 or 4 episodes together, is the haunted house.
As an arc, the haunted house was awesome.
Yeah.
We should have labeled it its own arc. We didn't.
Yeah.
We kind of decided what the parameter of arcs were going to be after we did that.
But I really liked how that worked out. I really liked that. I think it was Marion, actually.
Probably.
I think it was Marion. It might have been Agatha, but I'm pretty sure it was Marion who threw the Bible down the monster's throat. Remember?
Yeah. Take this.
Fuck you.
Take God down the throat.
No, I just really, and the points of light, and it really reminded me of like it, and I had the silver bike.
Yes, yeah, I remember
mean?
the silver bullet.
Yeah, silver bullet, yeah. The bike, the jar of eyeballs, the moistness of the floor and the walls. Oh, yeah, I think that was my favorite one to run.
That was fun. Maddie here, or Calgill was saying here, they were pretty sure that the boulder was the color out of space. But that may have just been because they started watching the movie before starting the series. Which the movie, I loved the movie, by the way. Lindsay almost died watching it, but I thought it was fantastic. Is the boulder the color out of space?
So no, the boulder wasn't the color out of space. It actually did come into my mind to do something like that, like have the boulder corrupting the terrain and everything else. But I had this. I didn't want to do a hat on a hat. Hopefully everyone knows what that means. Too much, putting a hat on a hat.
Interesting. Never heard that phrase before.
I didn't want to put a hat on a hat. Whereas I already knew that I wanted to do a sort of glacky thing, the ritual, and other things that were happening. I had the pincushion man, the dog things. I just didn't really want to throw another thing in the mix. The other thing is, I'm surprised nobody's ever asked it. I'm not really going to get into it now because I can use it a bit later. Is what was chasing them in the catacombs?
Oh yeah, what was chasing?
Because it wasn't one of the dog things.
Yeah, what was chasing the catacombs?
Yeah, well, stay tuned because I'm going to use it because it was something specific.
Incredibly good writing, theater, and RPGs. Yep, that's. I mean, Lindsay works in professional theater. I work in professional theater. Janessa and Liz go to do theater things all the fucking time.
I can spell theater.
Can you?
Yeah, I can. Of course.
Is it R before E or E before R?
It's R before E.
In Canada.
Yeah, we're in Canada.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
And Canada.
I'm specifying because if anyone looks at this and goes, excuse me, it's because for some reason Canada, we flip those.
I always do New York Times crossword puzzles. It's something for me to kill time. But
don't kill time. We like him too much. Sorry.
But if it's always well done. But I always find it really amusing the spelling, because it's like I'll be like, oh, it doesn't fit because O-U-R, like U-R's. I'm like, oh, that's right. They don't spell things right.
Jesus.
Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say about it. Sometimes you just.
Funny you say Amos, because you were gonna ask that he spent the penalty dice on me.
Good job. Hashtag Team Marion.
Fuck. That's fair.
No, actually.
On a Constitution check, because I keep passing those.
It's okay if you missed it. If you leave Amos alone long enough, he'll fuck it up for himself. Well, he's one of those noir, tragic detective guys,
I mean,
right?
correct, but you didn't have to call me out so fucking egregiously.
Not you.
You have to call Amos out so egregiously. I'm learning
Actually, I like all the characters.
I understand this delineation.
Yeah.
Good lord.
I think they can tell we're tired.
Oh, God, so
Don't
tired.
show fear.
Somebody made a comment here. Yeah, so penalty dice equals a slow burner, but still a reward. That's a fair point. Actually, since you brought that up, I'm gonna go back to the Kofi question, because I realized that I don't think the video actually mentions this part specifically. Have we confirmed that the Call Arc 5 will be using a different system?
I have been giving that a lot of thought this week, because the idea was potentially of moving over to the Delta Green system, to try something new and have the players remake their characters, not a reboot, but like remake their characters with
the new rule set.
With the new rule set, and especially now because they really know who those characters are. Because every now and then, especially in the call, it'd be like, why do I have this? Because we didn't realize what that was for. So I
don't have an investigation skill. I'm a PI.
So I could have it fall under law, which it had a high amount. I sort of looked and I was like, okay, well, let's go with law.
We bent the rules to make it make sense.
Yeah. So I'm leaning toward moving to the Delta Green system. The systems are just a gateway for us to have fun with the story, a communal storytelling thing. It doesn't really change the story that much to me. There's just some things that are added to it now, but I really do like Call of Cthulhu for other reasons too. So I'm gonna have to get back on to everybody on that, because I'm just giving it some thought and looking through. Because there's the idea that we could stick with Call of Cthulhu, and it doesn't really change much. But I like the idea of trying, after especially doing 73. Of doing the Delta Green rule set and giving it a go. And there's nothing saying I can't go back to do, try and keep it interesting. What's people's thoughts on that, I wonder?
Yeah, let us know. You help us make that decision. And the reason why I bring it up is because, back to the Kofi rewards, one of the options we were looking at is because Delta Green kind of does that system a little bit differently with penalty dice and luck and how XP is spent and things like that, is that the pools would be utilized differently, at least for the call, right? So we're talking about the call, for instead of having like a luck pool, players can use that pool to burn it for other things as well, particularly for XP or for other methods of using it. It just becomes more of a general purpose tool for the players, and a similar sort of revamped system for the GM as well, because the penalty dice are really stacking up, and which is great. Thank you very much. It's just we're never going to get to them, so it's just a matter of going through and finding ways to change that up a bit.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking, we just create a pool out of it instead of specific penalty dice. But then if I just have a list of names of the dilettantes or thing, and then because I love, it's one of the things I love about doing the game. It's like and apparently Tyler McDonald hates your guts, so take this penalty dice. You know what I mean?
You have too much fun.
Like, I just have a lot of fun because it takes the onus off of me because you're the real monsters.
Jesus.
Oh, look, there's right up my face. Right up my face.
How did that get there?
Magic.
Weird. Wild.
Somebody
Funny.
just
I'll
spent
figure out how that got.
points.
What that is. That has nothing to do with this.
Really?
I don't think so. A weird thumbs up popped up on the screen, and I don't know how it got there.
Well, it's blue, so at least we don't need to worry about it being the Yellow King.
Oh. Da-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Color instead of color. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Spellings. Now several people are asking about the thing in the mines. Do you want to answer the question about the thing in the mines?
No, I'm not.
You
No,
fucker.
no, it was something different. I had a general idea of early on so the dogs. That's what I call them. The creatures that break the bones and the way the tongue. You know, everyone knows what I'm referring to. Hopefully, if they've listened to Swill's Gullet, the dogs, the ones with the yeah. So I had an idea of not just the dogs, but there were other classes of things created, like a hierarchy. And I was really going to do with that, but I'm thinking about going, especially even if it's with other investigators, I am going to do a Glacky thing again, maybe a revisit the Swill's Gullet, and I think then would be the best time, because I really don't want to say something now, and then before I do that, because it could be a year down the road, could be 2 years down the road, that I've changed it, and then it feels like I've lied to you.
Yeah, that's fair too. Planning ahead.
Yeah, that's my cop-out.
One of the other things is that in terms of like the support that everyone's giving, because and we were pretty open with this earlier as well, is that it's going to be a general GM pool and a general player pool. So both of us for our any shows that we do. So from now on, instead of having all the shows being separate, like if the next time we do a spin-off of the call, it will allow Derek to use the same stuff, and then I can also dip into that for Spacers and for any of those other shows. So you'll hear us us both pulling from all of that stuff. The question for me? Oh, you shouldn't have. Have I regretted any choice that I've made as Amos in terms of story? God, that's a good question.
That is a really good question.
No, I don't think so. And I'm considering the idea of hindsight too, right? Without hindsight, without looking back, be like, oh, well, I guess it would have been better if I had made that choice instead. Judging from the information that was had anytime he had made a choice, no, not really. Like I said, looking back on it, there's choices that he's like, well, would have done that instead, like probably not been so aggressive to Althea when all that craziness was going on in Swill's Gullet. But at the time, I as the player was under the a strict perception that it was possible that any of us could not have made it to the end, and that could have included corruption in some way, shape, or form. So I was heavily under the impression, and thus Amos would have been doubly so, that, you know, for example, that it's possible any one of these people could turn on him at any point. Right? There's been weird stuff going on in this town. So, I mean, I guess I could say developing the photos, but I can't even really say that because I never got the opportunity to do it. Every time I went to go and do them, either the apartment blew up or people were eaten in the cafeteria at the manor, or like any number of excuses as to why things kept going and changing things. So, no, in terms of direct choices, that's the case. At the end, watching Marion fall apart, if however things go on, spoilers. If however the ending of that last arc would have shaken out, the way that it ends up ending, he no longer has that that concern, but that action right there near the end where it's like, oh God, I have fucked up in some way. Is now a different perspective, which I still haven't figured out yet. But so technically, without the benefit of hindsight, no.
Yeah, and it also boils down to, but did you die?
Well, yeah, no, I haven't died.
No, I mean,
yeah,
because if you did certain things differently.
With hindsight, there's so many things. Like now I'm like, I should have just fucking let Gull drug my ass. I should have gone down to the sewer.
It would have been a really different game if Agatha and Marion went with Heinrich and had the conversation, if you would have had the conversation.
Yeah.
Because I can't really plan for what the players are going to do, because they will surprise you. Any new keepers, any experienced keepers, players will always surprise you with what they're willing to do. That's a good question.
Yeah. So, with hindsight, a lot of things, but with the information provided, no, not really.
Yeah.
Would Simon... See you, TJ! Have a good evening. Would Simon have given up or betrayed the players if that was required to have saved Alistair?
Yes. Oh, fuck. Oh, yes.
Not surprised.
It all, in my viewpoint, it all depends on what that betrayal is.
Yeah.
Right? Simon would have sacrificed anything to save Alistair. But there's still exactly what that betrayal is matters. Right?
Interesting.
But that's just how I yeah. So Alistair was his number one.
Yeah, no
concern.
hesitation. Yeah, I know. What the fuck? Huh? Don't even look at this. Go away.
Yeah, no hesitation, 100%. Definitely. Did I mention about where I got Simon's name from? Did I do that in one of the...
Simon... What do you think his last name?
So, I named... So, Blizzard Warning is in the chat as well. And Simon was originally her character. By the name of Oliver. Yeah. So, when I had this idea of using the New England Center of Antiquities and stuff like that, I renamed Oliver Simon Golding. Now, the last name doesn't really come up at all, but his name is Simon Golding in my notes in the Bible. Because I love Lord of the Flies, and I love what Simon is in Lord of the Flies. And Lord of the Flies was written by William Golding, so it's Simon Golding.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just, but all my characters sort of have this. It doesn't need to make sense. It's never going to come up. But yeah, no hesitation. I guarantee it. Hey, I would have sacrificed you all to save Alistair.
Wow. Okay. Good lord. Damn.
Yeah.
You don't got to apologize for nothing. Ask whatever questions you want. We're here for you.
You.
Oh, it's the Spacers question. Oh, it's for me. Oh no, it's for you. Fuck. No, I'm kidding.
Why would it be for me?
Because it's for Flinch.
Oh.
There you go. Yeah, you're in that game. Surprise, motherfucker.
That's a fun game.
Oh.
You're gonna make me say something that's gonna break my heart.
Now keep in mind, as I ask you this question, you have to be careful about how you answer because
I'll take a second.
we've recorded a couple of episodes of Spacers, but we've had to take a pause because of all of our crazy schedules. So we're actually doing a recording blitz this weekend. Flinch, has he replaced Greg as his best friends with Tim?
No.
Don't tell Janessa that.
No, I mean, no. There hasn't. Maybe I should have gave it more thought. Give me a second. Was the question, is Greg no longer Flinch's best friend because now he's best friends with Tim? Was that what the question is?
For Flinch, has he replaced Greg as his best friend with Tim? Yes. That's the question.
Yeah, no. I feel that Flinch can be best friends with more than one person.
Aww.
It's the people, Flinch loves Greg and Flinch loves Tim, because of shared experiences, or whatever way you want to put it, but Flinch would do anything to save Greg or Tim. Now, his relationships with them are different. Mostly with, telling Greg to stop doing something while telling Tim to speak up about something. Right? I don't know how to replace that. No, I wouldn't say it'd be replaced. Or at least that's not how, if Flinch lives, that's not how I would continue playing the character. As be like...
No. If you continue playing the character.
No, we have a communal room, We sleep in a cuddle pile. Come on.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. A rat, a halfling, a goblin. Come on.
You're all shorter classes.
Yeah, well, I mean, we only get one. Hammocks and stuff everywhere.
Oh, there is a question for me. Oh, legit. Theme of the players always turn left. Did your players make any decisions in Spacers that threw you for a loop and made you recalibrate a session? Tim. Sort of. Okay, so actually I got two answers for this. One yes and one no. Tim is perhaps the best example, in my opinion, of letting the dice and the players calibrate how the story goes. Every session, I always try to have. I open it up with. I try to open up with something really, really subtle, simple. Like they always meet up in the mess hall or something, because I want to get a vibe of what the players are thinking that particular day and what direction they want to steer this towards. And then depending on where the plot's at, I will have more or less influence for the rest of the session. So the fact that Tim even exists is purely as a joke because Janessa rolled a 1. She wanted to understand. She played a dumb joke where she was like, someone told me to go kill some time, which is a pretty reasonable thing to say. It's not an outlandish, verbiage that even in any time era. And she rolled a nat 1 because she's like, I want to see if I can misinterpret the message or whatever reason she had given to do that. And I was like, well, I have to come up with something now. And I was like, well, what do I do with... How do we literally kill time? I was like, that's the only way you can misinterpret it, is they were being literal. And then I kind of was just thinking, I was like, well, TYM sounds like a really Hobbit way of spelling Tim, but a really messed up way of spelling time if you didn't know how to spell things like Greg would. And thus I did that, and it became this whole thing. But on the counter side of that, I'm really good at predicting where things will go, narratively speaking,
Mm-hmm.
as I lay out narrative threads. I'm really good at guessing where the players will go. Mm-hmm. For example, the Tesseract scene, I knew that there was like a 70% chance that Greg would do it and a 30% chance that Cliptic would do it. And so I had set things up so that either of them would go. If Laurel had done it, I would have had to have changed some things because I was not prepared for Laurel to do it, but I didn't think she would. But I knew that there was a 70-30 split between Greg and Cliptic, and sure enough, that's how it goes. So, yes and no. Somebody asked a dumb question back in the Spacers chat. We'll see. Dumb question. No such thing. What happened to the version of the word of the...
What happened to what?
Well, so somebody may have noticed something. So I'm going to ask the question, and then we're going to talk about it. What happened to the version of the Warden that went with the players to the Time Planet, and he stayed on the ship with Tim and then just vanished? I saw the question, and then I went back to listen to episodes to be like, can I write myself out of this bullshit corner? The legitimate answer is, it happened right before COVID, and then during the break of COVID, I forgot which players we had characters of and which ones we didn't. Because, now this might be a spoiler, but it's fine because one of the players knows. Not this one, it's whatever. It's not a groundbreaking narrative spoiler. The reason why I forgot that the Warden was there is because the Warden technically is already there. Kovo is a different version of the Warden. So I forgot that there was 2 Wardens because I hadn't actually stated to anybody that there was 2 yet.
Yeah.
And so I misplaced one of them. Why are there now balloons? Anyway, so that was so yes, logistically speaking, absolutely. Narratively speaking, I'm trying to find a way to explain why that happened. Don't worry, I'm working on it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the same issue when you have 2 of keeping track of multiple. Plus, as the Flinch loved the Warden.
Yeah.
I miss the Warden.
So I have a question for you guys. Did you see the balloons? Is that just, are we
Or
crazy?
is that just us?
Did you see the balloons?
Is it because of something we said? No.
I have no idea. That doesn't make any sense. I have to figure out why it's doing that.
No. Mysteries are okay to be left alone.
It's happening because certain gestures on video?
Okay, fair enough.
Weird, wild, I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
That's crazy because we're currently watching this through like, yeah, I don't know how that's happening.
Anyway, foolish faces.
Crazy. So yes, no, I didn't answer the question when you asked it because I was like, I'm gonna see if I could find a creative way to write myself out of this plot hole. But ultimately, the answer is no. That is an honest mistake that I made over the course of the long breaks between sessions, and because there are 2 different versions of the Warden that was there in one time. So I'll probably end up explaining it away in the sense of because they started traveling around and they had 2 versions and one didn't have a time walnut that they just ended up kind of like whisking away, kind of like how the ships traded spots at one point.
So, quick
But-
question,
Yeah.
because I haven't listened to that episode in probably since
Forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
So, did we land on the planet and the warden was on the ship? Or
No,
what-
you had the warden with you when you went down. You
So-
took him. You took him with him. So when you left the prison and you went to Caliprime, you took the warden with you, and so he's been with you as like a pet NPC essentially.
But
And at some point he just disappeared.
so there's an easy solution though, and we're on a planet. We were on a planet, right?
You were, yeah.
Yeah. He just walked off. He had his own stuff he had to take care of.
Maybe
He just left.
I was trying to see if I was like, can he go with the other crew? Can he do this other thing? Can some timey-wimey goodness happen? So I will find a plot thread that works. Just straight up between episodes, I just missed it. There's a
happens,
couple
though.
of other little plot holes because Spacers in particular, we really try to prioritize the call in a lot of cases because of recording times. So Spacers will be like 8 months between episodes when we were recording the old way we were recording things. So there would be lots of things that would just get missed, which is my own fault. I did not have as good notes as Derek. I've got it fixed now.
But
It's
these things happen. For people who are running games, people who are new to running games, these things happen, especially when there's long gaps in between playing.
I wasn't used to that. I'm used to playing games on a weekly basis.
Yeah, and not, and sometimes it's just, it's harder when it's, this is people are listening or watching us play. But when you have your home game and something like that, sometimes if everyone just agrees, hey, this mistake happened and that's okay. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If it's not breaking the story or it's not something, it's okay. These things happen, but it is a nice catch, and it's nice to let us know when you catch these things because both me and Zach are the type of people that will try to, I'm gonna fix this.
So I could fix that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because originally I had not planned for the PCs to bring the warden with them. I was like, oh shit, right? And I was like, they'll find the warden eventually later because I knew Kova was going to show up. But then, yeah, because the warden's not the guy's name. No one's ever bothered to ask the warden what his real name is.
No, it's because it's too
So
cool.
Anyway.
The Crypt Keeper, the warden, cool.
Yeah, the planet blew up, which is why I don't want him just to wander off.
He wandered off and hopped onto another ship that was there and left. Maybe it was all a setup and he had another ship to get off. I don't know.
The easy thing will be he's with the other crew that you're no longer hanging out
Yeah, so he
with.
wandered off, went on that other ship and left.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Is where I was leaning towards, but
Perfect.
it may not work out that way in the show, but I'm just gonna say that and problem solved. We looked at the kind of guys that can use discontinuity to advantage, potentially to devastating effect. Okay, I have a good story about this. Here's a good GM story. So this is fun. So during COVID, there was like a serialized thing that I was doing, like a radio play that I was working on. That was actually there's a game that I play every Wednesday. And I've been using it as a play test for the Cortex Prime system that we're going to be using for all the games that I'm going to be running on Twisted Gears now. Now use this game system. So I've had a group of people that I play test the system with for the past since COVID, and it includes Rob. Because Rob's a phenomenal player. I love playing games with Rob, but they do not like being on camera and microphone, which I respect vehemently. But some of the best narrative shit comes out of games that Rob is playing, and oh god. Anyway, so to keep the story going, to keep that story, I was serializing it. One of the interesting things that came up in the game is, as a bit of not really discontinuity, but using things that I probably shouldn't be using to my advantage, is I wanted there to be this big twist reveal. This is going to kind of spoil this thing when this gets done, but I'm not working on it right now, so it's fine. Where one of the players, their entire group of people aren't noticed by an entire race of beings on the planet. So there's some weird plot thread going on where one of the things that we're talking about, the game talks a lot about societal structure and things like that. So one of the reasons why this group is so ostracized is one of the ruling class of races literally doesn't acknowledge them. But the one loophole I had was Liz's character is a constant player, and one of their favorite NPCs is one of these alien race people. So I was like, I guess I can't do that then. And then I went, wait a second. Liz is the scribe. she's the character that writes the notes for that game. And in that particular game, she's really diligent about writing notes. And so I kind of started asking the players in secret. I was like, when was the last time you saw Liz talk to this NPC? And they went, oh, the last time we were there. And then I went back. I was like, well, no, she was writing the entire time. They're like, yeah, but we just kind of assume that she's having the conversation. Okay. And every character, every player, even Liz answered the question that way. And I went, fucking done. So the big twist was I said that, oh, these creatures are ignoring these people. They went, no, they're not. And then they went to their friend and they said, do you see her? How many of us are here? And I went, 3. And they all went, wait, what? And it became this big twist reveal because no, every time you're in the room, you're too busy running notes. You've been a part of the conversation, but he's never actually specifically talked to you. You'll ask him questions, but he is not answering you. He's answering when this person asks it the second time over. So it wasn't a plan from the beginning, but ended up becoming a plan because she ends up sitting out of a lot of RP sessions just due to scribing. So fun story about how you can really twist that. Use your players to help you fuck with other players.
Yeah. And then you don't need to casually listen or watch the call. Oh, I love their little angst with each other.
Who's angst?
All of you are angsty with each other from one point or another, except Marion. Hashtag. Oh, no, even Marion.
Marion is angsty.
Even Marion. Oh, watch your mouth.
Yeah, she's very uptight.
I really did like how Amos and Agatha became really good friends too. But yeah,
it was funny.
But I mean, I can't think of any examples at the moment because my brain is fried.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. It's funny. So Weege says here, I think it's funny that Greg seems to be the most emotionally there. It's hard to explain, but Greg is more like the emotionally charged choices. Yes, 100%. And here is the best part about that. So the Tesseract episode was me calling Janessa out on that. Because there was times I was talking with Janessa as the player for Greg. And she's like, oh, no, Greg's not like the emotional one. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Greg's the emotional heart that holds the crew together. So I was hoping that Greg would make the choice to go in because I knew that the episode of whoever goes in, it would be a character study on that character. And I wanted to basically call Greg out on his BS and be like, you care about these people. And kind of do that in subtle ways. So that was kind of fun. Yeah. Thanks, Rosa. We'll see you later.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Rosa.
Fucking brutal. I assume that was because I assume the fucking brutal is a reaction to me manipulating
That's great.
Liz for 2 years. It was a 2-year-long game. They find out 2 years into the game that this is what's happening.
Oh, it is great. It's great.
Felt bad about it.
Yeah, it's always great when you can do that with players. You really put them on the edge, or you really give them a shock or a surprise. It's one of the greatest thrills you can have.
I love it. You have to see the reaction in real time as players are like, wait, I've been betrayed? It's like, yes! Isn't it great?
Yes. I have been betrayed!
Narrative through line. Anyway. Yeah, it's fun. It's good. Became obvious with Laurel's mom. Yeah. 100%. Hundo percent. Yeah, I'm at the end of the questions. Oh no, but people are typing, so I'll give it a few seconds here.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we'll give it a few seconds, and although, yeah, we're still here.
Yeah.
At least for a few more minutes.
Yeah. Well, if we're gonna start doing these where we're just gonna start doing questions instead of actual like commentaries on episodes, because again, commentaries are fun, but I don't know if it's getting the same result that we want, which we can get a better result of just letting you freely ask whatever questions you want. So again, if you have opinions and perspectives, you don't even have to give those opinions right now. You can even just tell us later, be like, actually, could we please just do episode to episode, and we'll make it happen.
Oh yeah, we just wanted to try, mainly because when it's playing, it gets wobbly on your end, or I can't hear it. And it's like,
yeah, that.
And it's not a tech thing though. That's just the whatever.
It's a bit of a tech thing. Like there's ways around it, but it not that
you do so much, man. It's not a tech thing. You are a golden god. Stay gold, pony boy.
But also on top of that, we have to like realistically to talk and then pause and all that stuff. It's we're only limited to so much content. within the time frame. And we're usually it's so hard for us to get together in the first place. If we were able to have all of us sit down at a table for 3 hours, we wouldn't be doing a commentary. We'd be recording another episode.
Yeah, that's very true. we would continue playing. The other thing I'm thinking of, if we're gonna go this way, like Zach said at the beginning, it doesn't. I mean, we of course we love talking about our process. We love talking about our games, players, situations, and stuff like that. But feel free to also ask questions in regards to almost anything. Interests, likes, hobbies.
Yeah. Well, what I might start doing for this is feel free, especially for the Dilettante chat there, as one of the rewards for giving as much money as you do. You can even submit questions, and then I can kind of curate some questions before these as well. We do them on a monthly basis. I might even just start bringing in discussion topics to discuss, and then the questions will take away and take root, but I'll have things for us to chit chat about. But now I have a whole bunch of stuff here. Is it easier to do commentaries divorced from Q&A? Yeah. I think you asked that right before we started answering the question. One of those reusing a character they used in the D&D campaign while playing with you. Sorry, I'm now reading this story that's here.
I'm just dancing to the music.
Yeah.
Not really dancing, more like just shuffling.
I love being able to bring in that shit, that meta contextual stuff, because you get the reactions from the players. It's so good. Fantastic. Yeah, anyway. That game, so one of the he cried. It was great. Also a really good reaction. You can get and not in a way I'm not saying abuse your players, don't fucking do that. But if you can get like a legit reaction out of your players as to something, like when they're so attached to like a player or a character or an NPC or whatever, and you can, without exclusively doing it through I'm gonna kill this NPC you love, but through whatever means, it's so cathartic.
Yeah, it brings the story to life. Especially when your players, if it's an NPC or stuff like that, let alone if it's another player, like when Marion fell apart and everyone's reactions for that. But also when it's an NPC, and if your players are so connected to an NPC, or they really feel shock at something happening. I mean, you're doing your job.
Telling a story.
You're creating a involved story.
Yeah.
It's just it's always great when it works out that way. It's always great when you get that shock. Yeah.
The big reveal.
The reveal. It's a twist.
What a twist. So I said that I started serializing that particular game in COVID. The plan is to continue doing that. I'm actually going to try and find, which will lead into this next question that I've been asked in a sec here. So we're planning on doing more shows. Spacers and the call will stay as our usual, what you're familiar with. But we're kind of playtesting other players and other people at the table and other games, so that we're always making stuff, because we just like doing stuff and getting together. But it's hard to do the call without Janessa one day and then without Lindsay the next, or Spacers the same way, right? Missing people here and there, it's very difficult. So we've got a couple of shows on the go that kind of have rotating casts to kind of rectify that, so we're constantly producing stuff. So sometime later this year, you'll see even more stuff for our subscribers. Those will be subscriber-only shows. But we'll also do... I'm going to go back to finishing up that serialized thing from COVID, because that game is still ongoing. So there's lots of episodes there for that. I have over 700 pages of notes that I have to take and curate into a script.
Zach, you're so busy, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I'll get to it one day, I'm sure.
One day we'll get this done.
Yeah. Well, it's just
Tired boys!
Which is James is here asking, what's the theater scene like in your region? Oh, surprisingly, good. Very vibrant. We have, so I work at a theater attached to the high school that's near my complex here. There is a theater attached to the college downtown, and it is it's a phenomenal space. Yeah. Usually when you build a theater in Canada, the bigger theaters, you list off a series of features and you have to pick a couple of them. a pit for a pit band, an attached garage, a full fly gallery, a full lighting grid, and a full sound system. Pick 4, right? This theater has all 5, so it's a phenomenal theater that we have here downtown. And so I often will work for some of the shows going on there. And then another theater is now popping up where it's more beginner level. Hannah's taking that one on, which is fantastic. I'm actually helping them restore their lighting grid with that right now. Minimally speaking, that's a part of my daytime job, though. It's a part assigned to go and do that. So yeah, theater here is actually quite fantastic, quite good, and we're also trying to see what we can do about, you know, if we're doing radio plays and stuff like that, can we tie into that and get people in? It's lively. It's why I have been unavailable to do shit as of lately, because I have so many jobs right now. Yeah. I'm just filling in. I'm filling in for a stage manager on the show I'm working on, which is totally not a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Anyway, it's fun.
But I was just about to say, you know, okay, of course, I had time off enough to go watch Janessa as Mimi in Rent.
Yeah, we did Rent in November. It was fan-fucking-tastic.
She was fantastic. Zach was director.
I directed that, yeah.
Yeah, it was a fantastic show. So it's always nice when you have the arts community and they can put on plays like this. And it's even more when your good friends are involved with it as well, because you have more of a stake. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't do anything with the theater.
You support. You support.
I support. No, but I mean, I'm not in any shows or nothing. I can't hold a tune. Don't let me sing The Littlest Hobo.
You do. So, technically speaking, depending on where you get your funding from, like stuff that we're doing here counts as like radio.
Oh, I know. I know. But like,
well, fun fact, anyway.
Yeah. I'm involved.
Yeah. Yeah. There'll be even more coming. It's really awesome here, actually. Yeah, James, you're talking about how, you know, just you often think of theater only really in the big cities. No. The other thing about it is because we're so isolated, like we're literally there is nothing close to where we live. We're in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. So every community that exists, theater just being one of them, tends to be really, really tight, really good. Like even the hockey, the younger hockey scene is pretty well supported here. Like everything that has like a community is very well supported. Because you have to be. Because you don't have anywhere else to go to be a part of that community. So it creates a very interesting dynamic here in town, too. Just all the different cultural groups as well. It's crazy. It's wild. Montgomery vanishing broke for good. Broke everyone's heart. I was sad.
It broke my heart, too. And I'm the one who did it.
I have a question.
Because it still had to be done.
Was that always going to happen?
Choices were made.
Choices were made.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it had to happen, because there was a path where it didn't have to happen. I'm not saying that players fucked up and caused that to happen. It's just the natural progression of the story and what I had in mind. It broke my heart to do it, but you know, some things have to be done.
That's fucked up.
That sounded really cold.
That's fucked up.
That sounded really cold, and I'm sorry for how cold it was.
Any chance you might ever take a picture of the Bible and share it with people? Maybe not the contents, but
oh, I can. Yeah,
the Bible.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, that's fine. But when it comes to the thing is, and I think I mightn't have explained this thing. When it comes to my Bible, for the episodes and for the call itself, isn't just a collection of notes that would make sense chronologically for the show that you watch or listen to. It is my notes of where I might do this, and I might do this, and I might do this in any given situation. So if I actually show the notes, there are things in there that I would do in other shows.
Yeah, I love doing so. So my Bible is an iPad. I just use an iPad for everything. Yeah. What I like doing is I do the same thing. Whereas I'll pick like 5 or 6 things that the players could be dealing with. Mm-hmm. Cool, and if they tackle one, and every one will have like nodes of progression, and wherever 100%. They interject, cool. The rest of them move on.
Yep, exactly how I do it as well. Over the years, it is generally the best way I've found to take care of things. But if I actually show the notes, it's like, oh my god. Especially if you read something, it's like, oh, that's what that is. And it's like, no, it's not actually. Because that's what it could have been.
Yeah, not anymore.
Okay.
Or not yet. So yeah,
Shocking.
there you go. Now that you've done movie, you can actually start that angsty fan fiction that you want to use Amos for. There are two measures of success. There's two things that I see as the measure of success for indie projects: fan art, fan fiction, and I can't remember what the second one is now. I'm not thinking about it right now. But fan art and fan fiction is on that list. As soon as I started seeing fan fiction and fan art, I was like, "We're good. We done it, boys.
We've made it. We've made it.
Do whatever you want."
Within reason.
Whatever you want.
No, seriously. Yeah, do whatever you want.
If it gets you arrested, even better. I'm not advocating for getting arrested. I'm weird.
Nah, it's all good.
I feel like experimentation is better fostered outside of bigger commercial areas too. Yeah. It's you get to really, like, for instance, I rent as an example was just the ability to, who the hell in a big city would give a random nobody $100K to do a theater project? Nobody. And then it goes on your resume, and then you go out and break into cities. So many people go into the arts, and they'll be like, hey, I'm going to move to like Vancouver or New York and things like that. I've always described those cities as you're invited to those cities. Don't move to those cities. You get invited to Los Angeles, invited to New York City. Work in the little areas where you can show off who you are, meet people, and then if they go, hey, come work with me on this project, now you can go there. But it's just it's so problematic. You move to a city and you're just stuck working the job you don't want to be doing.
No. I could do that here.
That's true too. I'm just happy that I can say in the past 10 years, I have not done a job that isn't arts related. I may have lost my mind a few times, but I haven't done a job that's not arts related. Don't tell me that. I'll do all the things.
Oh, Weege.
It's true. Do it. I'm done. You apply cosplay the characters if they had a set design. Okay, so that's a fun thing. 100K, yeah. For sure. Well, okay. It's not like somebody looked at us and went, here's 100K. We had a producer who was also an indie producer, and they were really good at, we pulled resources from all over the place to get that happening. So that was like 2 years of work.
Can you stop me for 1 second?
Yeah, what's up?
Autumn's got to run. Love you, Autumn.
Bye.
There we go. Sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off, but I know Autumn's got to take off. Hopefully everything's okay. Hopefully you're doing great. There we go.
Yeah.
Sorry. Didn't mean to.
Love you.
Love you.
So we wrote it and then scratched it out, but it's a fun fact. Probably do cosplay the characters if they had a set design. One of the things I'd like to do, again, if we ever get together for more than 3 hours at a time and we're not recording, we are wasting precious time because it's so rare for us all to get together.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't that way, one of the big goals we've always had, Lindsay's a costumer.
Yeah, I know.
Her job is she makes costumes for people.
Turn me into Skeet. Oh, I'm already
like, just get your coveralls, right? Like, I got Amos's outfit in my closet over there. Like, it's so we've been talking about wanting to do, like, just build sets for each of the individual shows. Not a huge expense, just an expense. And then do, like, photo ops as people cosplaying a character. It's just, like I said, it's so difficult to get us all together. So,
I mean, if we're ever down to somewhere, you know, those old-timey places where you go get photos done? I'm sure people could find certain things to be like,
I could do one of those.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, with what time?
Yeah, we have no time.
Yeah, that's the problem.
There's no killing time here.
Tim. Yeah, pop that in. So in one of the which stream is it? The fan fiction stream? I think it's a fan art stream. But feel free if you wanted to put that there, or even just DM that to me. That works too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For I try to be.
However much you want to share.
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, sorry. Go on.
But when it comes to any questions to do with games and stuff, we'll be doing these every month. But also, feel free to reach out with a DM. Yeah. If I can't get back to you in a few days, what I've been trying to do is putting in a quick message when I get in a chance saying, hey, I read this, because I just had somebody reach out with some questions. Or thinking about being a keeper and some questions about some decisions I made rule-wise for 7th edition Call of Cthulhu for the game.
Ooh, look cool, man.
And yeah, just feel free to reach out. We're pretty accessible
Correct.
with our small amount of time. Nah, but we are. We try to do our best.
Yeah, so all that good stuff. All right. We don't have. So I've got a time. We've got to talk about the date for the next time we're doing this because it currently lines up on a thing I can't do. Our next Q&A. So we'll. I'm assuming we're gonna start talking about winding down for the day.
Yeah. I need to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go home, eat supper. Go to sleep.
I need to write. No, I'm kidding.
You need sleep as well.
I need sleep.
Yeah, because I worked today.
Rum.
And then I just came here. And then I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat supper, go to bed, get up, and go for another 12 tomorrow.
Oh, my God.
But hopefully I get the weekend off, everybody.
I hope so, because this is recording spacers. All right.
No.
Well, I think we're going to call that for today. We're probably going to start shortening these down a bit, just so we have more to talk about every single month. Ooh, we're going to talk about what the next... Normally, we would announce right here what the next one would be, but we have to actually figure out what that's going to be, because my schedule is now getting in the way of the proposed date we originally had for next month. Fuck. It's because there's another show happening. So we will let you all know when the next one of these is once we figure it out.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there.
Yeah, makes sense.
Otherwise, hang on a sec. 5. Rough ideas has been more of a modern day thing, continuing off the idea that Goodyear State being used as the center of... Ooh!
Get out of my head.
That's dark and fucked up, and I like it.
Get out of my head.
It's dark and
Don't
fucked
read
up.
that out loud.
I'm not reading that out loud. Only if you were here to comment on that.
I
That's awesome.
I have actually thought about it.
I've thought about it too. The thoughts crossed my mind.
Yeah.
You were the one that asked that question a couple of QAs ago. All right. But, yeah, we're all fucked up. It's fantastic.
Oh, you're all sick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dark as fuck, yo.
Yeah, but I just find it... anyway.
Can I talk about it right now? All right. Where we're going to go.
Okay, so later days.